Thank you, Gabriel. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go through some things based on my work experience, some good, some not so good, as well as my dealings with individuals, families, and businesses. So having said that, let me go in here, start my share. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. Thank you. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is the impact of our choices. Everything we do is a choice. You can do something or not. You can plan for it and make a choice or not. But be aware that every choice you make has an impact. So let's go through some of my experiences and I'll explain some of those choices. You have a choice which college you attend. As Gabriel mentioned, I attended Hofstra University. Now, when I attended this school, it was based upon my grades. It was not based upon my ability to afford the school. Now, again, I went to school many, many, many years ago and it was much cheaper, but the decision you make to go to school should not be based upon the cost of the school. The choice you make to plan early can help you get the maximum financial aid and not make the mistake I did by not doing those choices and paying for both of my kids' college, which was extremely expensive. Again, the choice you make to plan for school. Another choice you make is which car you drive. Now, I chose to drive a Ford for many years, and you can argue, probably correctly, that Ford is not the best car out there. However, my choice was based upon a relative who worked for Ford that I got really good deals on the price of cars. That's why my choice was to drive a Ford. But again, it's a choice you make. Another choice you make is, do you get married or not? I got married in 1981, and I met my wife in 1980 in college. We went on our first date, and 6 weeks later, yes, 6 weeks later, I proposed. And more than that, I asked her 3 times because I did not believe she said yes. And that is a true story. But the choice you make again, do you get married? Don't you get married? And with that comes the financial obligations of kids, of house, of everything else that comes with it. Again, the choice that you make. Another choice you can make is to have kids or not. We chose to have kids. So my son is now 37. My daughter is 33. The choice, again, to have or not have. And with that comes a lot of responsibilities. And again, the financial side of college, of a car, of whatever else you do for your kids. The choice. Another choice you have is to own or rent. We all need to live somewhere. Now, no, that is not my house. That is a picture off of the internet. Okay. But the difference is if you rent, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. But in today's economy, people want to own, but they may not be able to afford it. But if you can afford a mortgage, then the question is, you have a choice of paying it off early. And there are options out there, choices out there that will allow you to pay it off early, not only pay it off early and have the house, but also have the cash excess in your pocket. So it's not a one or the other. Another choice you have is you can be an employee or an entrepreneur. If you're an employee, you can work 9 to 5. You can not be able to think outside the box, but you're dependent on somebody else for your salary, your bonuses, your raises, whether you're employed tomorrow, whether you have a pension or 401k, that's an employee, and that's okay. The other choice is an entrepreneur. Your business, your product or service, you make the rules, you have the challenges, but you also get the rewards. Now, if you think about this, 95% of the people are on the employee side, but 95% of the wealth is on the entrepreneur side. So which side do you want to be on? If you want to be an entrepreneur, I can help you with that too. But again, it's a choice. Another choice you have, which may not really be a choice, is to retire. If you're an employee, one day they're going to come to you and say, it's time for you to go, and you have no choice. The other option is to be an entrepreneur where you get to decide. But when you open a business, the first thing you need to think about is exiting the business. Yes, you heard me correctly. Exit the business, because the goal that you have is to build a business to the point where you can sell it for a large profit and exit. That should be your goal. You're not going to be in this business forever. But when you do exit the business, how do you replace the income that you had when you had the business? That's a choice you make. Another choice you have is getting older. Again, not a choice. And I'll give you a quick story here. 20 years ago, I met a couple who were in their mid-60s, very healthy, did not want to plan for their future when they got older and potentially no longer healthy. And they chose not to. 10 years later, in their mid-70s, I asked that same question, and they said no. 8 years later, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He went from healthy and vibrant to a wheelchair to bedridden to passing away at 88. They used most of their money to pay his 24/7 care in home. She, because she had less money, the last 5 years of her life, had to make a decision every month. Do I buy food? Do I pay rent? Do I pay the utilities? That couple that I met, that was my parents. Not a good place to be in. The choice you make for your later years is critical. Who's going to take care of you? Who's going to pay for it? You can't guarantee they will. You have to do for yourself. Another choice. Now, you do have two other choices to make. We all come into this world the same way. And I hate to say it, but we're all going to leave this world the same way. But how are you going to be remembered? This is your choice. One choice is to leave all the liabilities, mortgage, credit cards, auto loans, hospital, everything else. That's a choice. Are you going to be remembered by leaving your family in the lurch where the house gets taken, the car gets taken, they're thrown out? What do they do? Because you didn't plan right. The other choice is to plan right, leave a legacy, have all those debts paid off, and still leave money for the family to live. That is what I do. This is where I come in here. I help you understand your choices and help you enact a plan to leave that legacy, because nobody knows when we're going to leave. That's my presentation. Does anybody have any questions?